for coming to this inaugural U.S. Reduces meeting. My name is Anne-Marie Bonneau, and you're going to hear from a handful of speakers. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. And then at the end, you can also come on the screen, unmute yourself and ask a question. And well, I guess we're going to start with Tina Soldovieri. And Tina started all of this in Toronto in a neighborhood called Roncesvalles. And then it just grew. It grew all over Ontario and other parts of Canada, and then came down here. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. So Tina is going to present, and she has some other people from Toronto with her who are going to present.
Okay.
So take it away, Tina.
Thank you. Thank you. So hi,
thanks
everybody.
For coming.
Of course. My name is Tina Soldovieri. I'm here tonight to talk about our neighborhood initiative called Roncesvalles Reduces in Toronto, Canada. First, I would like to acknowledge the land where I'm located. I'm speaking to you from the traditional territories of the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe First Nations. Toronto is located on the land of the dish with one spoon, which is the name of a treaty of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy that binds everyone who lives on this land to share it and care for it and make sure the dish is never empty for generations to come. For generations of living beings to come. That's an important part. Sometimes we think generations are humans, but it's all living beings. And it's the best call for sustainability that I can think of. I would like to thank Yayoi from Zero Waste Ithaca and the incredibly creative Zero Waste blogger and cookbook author Zero Waste Chef Anne-Marie for inviting me tonight. We are all here to make the case for reuse and for bring your own, BYO, in our communities to stop the mindless flow of single-use plastic that completely overburdens the ecosystems of our planet. And so I brought a few slides for my presentation, and I will share them right now. There you go. And I do from beginning. Okay, here we are. So here's Roncesvalles Reduces, a pandemic photo, as you can see from the mast. Roncesvalles Reduces started in 2019 as a group of neighbors and friends who felt sick about the amount of plastic we accumulate in our own households and bins. Ronce, by the way, is the nickname for Roncesvalles, which is a small neighborhood in Toronto. So we have come together. We had come together because we all had the same problem. It felt disturbing to learn about the devastating consequences of plastic, and at the same time, come home with more the very next day and see the bins on our streets overflowing with plastic. And that's why we wanted to replace as much single use with our own reusable containers and bags. But doing it by yourself often felt uncomfortable and made grocery shopping or getting takeout somewhat stressful because very few people were doing it, and many businesses or people behind the counters were reluctant. So our pretty simple goal became to make BYO acceptable, or even, what a dream, mainstream, by inspiring both businesses and consumers to make it happen. We came up with a Roncesvalles Reduces sticker, a BYO sticker that you can see here, that businesses display to let customers know that they can bring their own reusables. And this includes coffee cups and water bottles, produce bags, cloth bags for bread and bulk food, containers for takeout food and deli items such as tofu and meat, and jars for soaps and detergent and oil and vinegar and a lot more. Once a shop had our sticker, people didn't have to feel hesitant or nervous anymore about using their own containers and bulk bags. So that was the idea. During the first 6 months in 2019, we went up and down our shopping strip, which is Roncesvalles Avenue, and asked businesses to participate. And in return, we offered to promote them on social media and at our events. There was not exactly a fast process. We had to visit many businesses 2 or 3 or 4 times until we were able to speak to the manager, or the manager had asked the owner. And yeah, it was quite a process. Very few businesses said no, though, but many were hesitant in the beginning. However, once we had a few on one block, businesses became less reluctant, and within a few months, we ended up with over 70 stickers in our neighborhood. We also got some friendly support from the Roncesvalles Business Association. They helped us with printing flyers, and on this slide, you can see they let us use their streetcar shelter poster, which was really nice. It was there for a few months. In 2021, the city of Toronto invited us to speak at a webinar about single-use waste reduction. So by that time, the city was on board and many neighborhood businesses were okay with it, but we still needed the people to actually do it. So that's why this next step after spreading the sticker on our street was to let people know about it. The sticker is really not very big. It's just 5-inch. And if people don't know about it, they might not notice it at the stores. So with our limited volunteer power of 10 people, we started reaching out to our neighbors in a bunch of different ways. And one way is here, that was our first event. We did a film and speaker event at our local cinema. We offered waste reduction workshops and a poster contest at some schools in the neighborhood. There's some winning posters here that are really beautiful. We did a flyer drop in the neighborhood and with a list of all participating restaurants, grocery stores, and coffee shops. We invited Anne-Marie. You can see her book here, which we love. We did shoreline cleanups, downsize your bin contest, and last September we did something new. It was that we adopted from St. Lawrence Reduces, which is a remarket, and we had a lot of fun with it, where we invited over 20 reuse, repair, and waste reduction businesses and initiatives to come out. Yeah, so why did we make it? Why did we start as a local initiative? So there are actually a lot of benefits if you focus on your own area or neighborhood. It feels a lot more manageable. It's not too big. It's not too overwhelming. You get to know some neighbors, some neighborhood businesses. You build community. And even if you only cover a small area, a good number of stickers in one area is a lot more visible and impactful than if they are spread out all over Toronto. And you benefit from it yourself, from your own actions, because it instantly makes low waste shopping easier for yourself. So these people you see on the pictures, they're not Google pictures, they're real pictures. And I know these people, and the guy sells the fish and is happy to have me take a photo when he puts in a fish. I don't eat fish anymore, but he did it for my picture. And yeah, and the lady on the right is also was happy to load our containers for a meal, which is really cool. So you get to see a lot more on a local basis. You can find a lot more willingness from people instead of seeing the general global environmental despair. But with the amount of plastic around us, it is sometimes hard to not give up. I find the best encouragement is to look at nature. In nature, everything cycles and nothing gets wasted. And it's such an amazing role model. So when you switch to reusables, I recommend try not to think about it as an extra step, as an inconvenience. Think about it as a natural step. The natural step is to reuse a container instead of immediately making it a waste item. And because plastic is so omnipresent in our culture, it has to be done in a communal effort. It also prepares us. More and more single-use items will be banned. We have to figure out so many ways how we can transform into a circular economy, and BYO is just one piece of the puzzle, but one that immediately reduces plastic and at the same time raises awareness that we have to do it together. While Roncesvalles Reduces never had a plan to spread outside our neighborhood, it just happened. We got media coverage. People heard about us and approached us that they wanted to bring the initiative to their area. There are now 18 neighborhoods in Toronto have their own sticker designs, as well as 7 towns and cities, including Vancouver and Ottawa. We have a website where people can find tips and information called canadareduces.ca. And Yayoi and Anne-Marie and Stephanie are building a network in the U.S., which is simply amazing. So the amazing thing, and we just talked about a little bit, is that people can make it, it's very simple, and people can make it their own, and they come up with their own ideas how to move it along in their neighborhood. And I want to tell you one little example. Last week, I spoke to a group in Caledon. Caledon is like a rural community in northwest of Toronto. And they had this incredible idea. They raised funds for a restaurant crawl, and that restaurant crawl will take place in May. And they want to visit all the restaurants in their town of Bolton in one day with their whole group and with all kinds of fans that they bring along, and tell them about BYO. And if the businesses take the sticker and sign up, then they order a meal, a dish. And then they're going to take all these dishes, and at the end, they want to do a big picnic. And I thought, wow, that is such an amazing idea and so much fun. Sounds like so much fun. And they also have a component that they talk to them about food waste and remind them that there are food rescue initiatives. So I thought, wow, that could be super powerful, and I'm very curious to hear in May how it will go. So to give you an idea how this initiative spread, I also brought a super active and wonderful group from the St. Lawrence neighborhood in Toronto, and they can tell you how they took it on. And thank you very much, Angela and Donna and Mark, for joining us. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Tina. I'm going to share my screen as well. Okay, hopefully everyone can see that. Yeah, awesome. Hi, everyone. So I'm Angela, and I'm part of the St. Lawrence Reduces group. So another group inspired by Tina and Roncesvalles Reduces. And I'm joined here with Mark and Donna. So we are another group that's based in downtown Toronto in a neighborhood called St. Lawrence, which is a very diverse community with lots of local businesses and mom and pop shops, and also hosts Toronto's largest farmers market. So it's been really great to kind of work with the community and support local businesses, especially during COVID. And we formed last year, actually, via a partnership with the City of Toronto's Climate Action Group, which myself and Mark were part of, and Donna's group, which was the St. Lawrence Neighborhood Association Waste Reduction Group. So it was really great to kind of leverage resources from the city, as well as Donna's connections within the St. Lawrence community, and that really helped us along the way to promote our program and really bring awareness to our program. So I'll pass it over to Mark for him to share a bit more details on kind of the process we used to launch our program and promote it along the way.
Great. Thanks, Angela, and thanks everyone for having us here tonight. Happy to be here. So we really took our time at the start when we were launching our program to really think about what it was we wanted to accomplish and how we would get there. And we thought, we wanted to make sure we had a clear idea in our mind about how we would bring this program to life before we jumped in the deep end and tried to get businesses on board. So we spent the first few months looking at exactly how we would move things forward, and we developed a project plan. Those of you who are in business or project management will know what I'm talking about, but it's basically just a document that outlines things like what your objectives are, what you hope to accomplish and by when, a budget, a schedule, roles and responsibilities, who your stakeholders are and how you want to engage with them. So it really just kind of spells out all the pieces of the puzzle that you'll need to think about as you're developing your program. And doing that up front allows you to kind of think through, okay, what are we missing from this? What areas do we need some help with? Who can we bring in to help us with that? So it just kind of gets you to get all of the thinking done first, so you don't run into problems down the road and come up against things that you haven't really considered yet. So I think that was a really helpful first step for us. We also developed a strategy on how to engage with businesses and canvass them and just figure out logistically how we would do it, how we keep track of things, and we developed a tracker for that. And we developed a marketing plan as well. So exactly how are we going to get the word out there, both to businesses and consumers, about what we're offering, what the green sticker means if they haven't seen it before, and the different channels, social media, and other ways that we could get the idea out there to people and make them aware of what we were doing. So as I mentioned, we spent a few months on that. And I think it really helped to shape and form the rest of the work that we did as we moved the program forward. We had to make changes as things went along, new opportunities came up that we had to take into consideration. But overall, I think we stuck fairly closely to the plan we developed, and it really helped to guide us. So now I'm going to turn it over to Donna to talk a bit about what we accomplished.
So we started with the coffee shops because they seemed to be the easiest. And we signed up almost all of the coffee shops in our neighborhood, except for McDonald's. And then after that, we went on to businesses and restaurants. We have a market in our neighborhood, the biggest market in Toronto. So a lot of those businesses were independent. So they were easier to sign up as well because they didn't have to go to their corporate head office or anything like that. So we've signed up more than 36 businesses, and we're still signing up more. Our BIA, the Business Improvement Association, really helped us out a lot. And they did the picture here and the map. They put a page up on their website for us, which lists all of the businesses that have signed up with a map. So that's really, really helpful. When we went to canvas businesses, we could show them this page, and then they could see all the other businesses that were already signed up. So we've got the community. We have newsletters that have gone out from the neighborhood association, and we have monthly meetings. So we've talked a lot about updates. Every time there's something new about St. Lawrence Reduces, we'll talk about which new businesses we have that have signed up. And then when we had the contest, we talked a lot about the contest as well. So we have more than 250 followers on Instagram. And now one of the things that, well, we're still signing up new businesses, but we're also going to leverage that with talking to the businesses about other things. So reusable container programs, and also there are new regulations coming in from our federal government and from the city government. So we can now, because we have a relationship with the businesses, we can talk to them about that as well. And also some of our businesses signed up for BYO, but they didn't have reusables for dining in yet. So if you stay in the restaurant and you don't get takeout, do they give you takeout containers, or do you get a reusable plate? So we've talked to them about that, and some of the businesses that weren't using reusables for dining in are now doing that. So we're really happy about that. And it's gone really well. And Mark and Angela have been great at helping us get organized, because at the beginning we knew that we wanted to do this, but we didn't really know how. So without Mark and Angela, I don't think we would have got as far as we have. So thank you to them, and thank you for Tina for inspiring us, because it was when we first saw the news articles about Tina, that's when we decided to do this, and we had Tina come to one of our meetings, and that's when we got the idea.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and happy to answer any questions afterwards during the Q&A period.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That's so inspiring. I was seriously writing down notes. So many great ideas. And all right, so now I will present. Okay. So I'll tell you a little bit about how this all started. So I write a blog, Zero Waste Chef, and I have a book of the same name. And in maybe it was late 2019, early 2020, Tina asked me if I would speak in Toronto, and I'm Canadian, and I was going home to see my mom. So it worked out really well. This was right before everything hit the fan during COVID. And when Tina explained the program to me, I thought this is genius, because so I broke up with plastic in 2011, but even to this day, when I go to a new business and I don't know if they accept BYO containers, I can feel awkward, you know, like Oliver Twist here, like, please put the sandwich in my reusable container. So when you see the sign, you know, it's like a beacon. Wow, this is a safe place I can go and I don't have to feel like a weirdo, which no one should, because this is totally normal. And I thought, I interviewed Tina for a blog post, and I remember saying to her, I wish we had something like this here, because a couple of days before I'd been out to Palo Alto, which is a city near me. I'm in Northern California. I could not get a cup of tea, and I was so frustrated in my thermos. And I said to Tina, I wish we had something like that here. And I thought, I could start something like that here. So I did. It's called Silicon Valley Reduces. And then I started to post about this on Facebook and Twitter. And then Yayoi said, hey, I want to start that here. Can you tell me more about it? And then Stephanie said, hey, I want to start this here. Actually, Stephanie interviewed Tina for her book. So that, I think that's why Stephanie. But anyway, we talked about it. And then Alex from Sacramento asked about it. And, you know, we had a few little groups pop up, and we thought, okay, we need like an umbrella website, kind of like Canada Reduces. And so we now have US Reduces. So it's usreduces.org. And here is our map so far. So we have 9 groups on the map, and we want you to join too, you people out there. So getting started, if you know of businesses that are already allowing BYO, start there. So there's this fabulous cafe in downtown Palo Alto, Cafe Venetia. And they, before I even started this, they had a poster up saying, we're going zero waste. You know, we've had enough of this. And so I thought, okay, well, that's an easy one. And so I didn't have to talk them into it. This is they make amazing tiramisu, and their tea is amazing. So, and then once you have some people signed up, then, you know, you start your marketing. And like Tina said, once you have the first person signed up, it gets a lot easier. And then when you go to other businesses in the area, you can say, well, you know, this person signed up. So there's some peer pressure there. Because it's local, you know, whoops, I have to go back. Oh, wait, sorry. Okay, so Facebook, Twitter, social media, that stuff's good. But it's local. So something like Nextdoor can work really well. When I first posted about this on Nextdoor, people, I only had, I think, 9 businesses signed up, but people were so excited. So Nextdoor can be good. Press releases, if you can get some local press. So this press releases work. I wrote a press release. This was for my Zero Waste Chef stuff. This was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. And I sent it out, and a reporter contacted me and put it in our local newspaper. And it was awesome. I got all kinds of great feedback, and it led to other articles and speaking engagements and things. So, and okay, so here are some simple steps if you want to start a group. So schedule monthly meetings, and you know, you only need 2 people to have a group, or you can even just do it on your own and you'll attract people. So have a monthly meeting with yourself if you need to. Collect email addresses for a newsletter. So that can be internal or external or both. You can keep track of the people who are interested. Grab some social accounts. So Facebook, Instagram. I don't know. I don't do TikTok. I can't. It's too much. Set up a Facebook page, sorry, a Facebook group or a Slack group, and you can keep in touch with your group that way. And these are, there are other ways to do this. I'm just throwing out some ideas while trying not to overwhelm you with homework. And then maybe take the Beyond Plastics 2-part training. And then once you've done that, or I mean, even if anytime, just get on the map. So send your information to info@usreduces.org. And that's it for me. So I'm going to stop sharing. And next is Yayoi.
All right. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. This was so great, like great visuals. I really enjoyed watching that. Okay, I'm going to start.
Oh, and I should introduce Yayoi though. Sorry.
So
Yayoi is from Zero Waste Ithaca, and she's a force. And she's signed up. Well, she and her group have signed up. What, like over 100 businesses in your area, close to 100, and she's really driving this U.S. Reduces initiative. So, thank you for all the work you've been doing, Yayoi, and making this meeting happen.
Thank you. It's been fun. Let's see. Let me share the screen. Okay. Slideshow. Right. Okay. So I'm going to quickly talk about food codes because it's a sticky point, and I saw some questions in the chat. So I'm going to talk about it. The United States is a little bit different from other countries. But I want to talk about how great the BYO initiative is. Like Tina talked about it, Anne-Marie talked about it, and St. Lawrence folks talked about it. It's a great initiative. I know it firsthand because I tried it myself. It seems like such a humble activity. Just put the sticker on, and it looks so simple. But like when you started, there's so many things that are involved in the process and you realize, what a great way to build a community around this initiative. So I just picked this picture because I really like this picture. Here, our group members are talking, tabling, and promoting BYO at one of the local festivals. It's a great activity, so I felt like this represents the wonderfulness of the activity. So the problem with the U.S. food code, currently kind of against the international trends for the BYO movement, with a few notable exceptions like California. And I want to say, like, we will persist. We will work with local, state, and federal agencies to change the arcane food codes of the U.S. And together, I think we can make it happen. I have this like a t-shirts, and I really like this idea. Like, if you're just like, one small fish, you're gonna get eaten. But like, if you're together we can, face the big challenges together. So like, I think I think we can do it together. And that's what I really felt being a group, rather than just if you're by yourself, you can't, there aren't much you can do. It's like for your self-satisfaction, you have your own mug, but like if you do it as a group, this we're gonna make quite a difference. We are working on the website resource for food code, and that's under the construction. but I've been attending the food code subcommittee, and we have some information, and I'm also researching about international food codes from different countries. So it's going to be put up, but I'm going to give you a quick taste. Example, California has the best law in the country when it comes to BYO. It's AB 619 in California in 2019 makes BYO allowable by law. And California law is great because it's also allowed in grocery stores and salad bars. In some states that allow BYO, like Maine and Washington, it's not, they don't allow that for takeouts from the restaurants, and also they don't allow that at grocery stores and salad bars and delis and grocery store delis, and also New York City, the same situation. So New York City allows takeouts, but like you have to go through hoops. For restaurants have to go through hoops in order to allow the reusable for the takeouts. So California is the gold standard, and I hope that will spread across the country. And thank you, Miriam Gordon, for filling me in on about the grocery store situations a couple of years ago. And in the US, but for most states allow you to BYO for leftovers at the restaurants, and anything from dispensers, like if your like grocery store have a bulk section and it has dispensers for beans, grains, that kind of thing is allowed. And also beverages like a hot coffee or something like from dispensers, those are usually allowed. You should check with your local health authorities. But it's really interesting. The whole food code situation is a morass and I say that because I was speaking with somebody from New York City, and a lot of health authorities, like officials, do not know about the New York City's law that's allowing, limited BYO. So they say no to everything. So like there is like, so you should really like look into and research and find out what's the actual situation is. And I'm going to tell you that, and even though I'm not saying that this is what you should do, but I'm telling you the reports from the ground is that a lot of restaurants welcome BYO. They welcome BYO, but they don't want to be official coming out like saying like we allow BYO because of the law. So just to keep that in mind. But like for businesses, they save so much money that like BYO is a great news. In one local business in our area, we heard that it was a pizzeria. They spend over $1,000 a month for disposable foodwares. And I think that's a lot. They can cut a lot of waste and the cost by switching to BYO or reusables. There is DRS that like a lot of people are excited about, but there are many advantages to BYO. So that's why we created this group, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so BYO is a great movement, global movement, and so I'm going to, Tina and her Canada team talked about Canadian situation. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about what I found online about Australia. And I want to show you that South Australia removed liability from retailers for the BYO practice. And this is like a game changer. And I have the code if anybody's interested, and I'm actually planning to put that on the website soon. So, and then they have Canada have Canada Reduces, and now we have U.S. Reduces, and now Australia have their own. It's called BY, and the organization's name is exactly BYO containers.org. That's the name of the organization. And I contacted them, and they gave me details about the South Australian law, that promoting BYO. They removed the liability just to promote BYO. And I think that's really amazing. And so I got those shots from Australia's BYOcontainers.org. It's just that like these kind of things are being promoted. And I thought it was really interesting. They're doing the same thing as Canada Reduces and us. And so we think about the same thing. Great minds think alike, right? So I thought this was great. And I would like to encourage everybody to check out the essay that's on our website. It's entitled "The Case for BYO" by policy analyst Michelle Brake from Canadian nonprofit Mind Your Plastic. She details like why BYO is so important. So please check it out. And she talks about the Canadian food code situation as well. And here are the reasons why BYO is so important. BYO is the first line of defense against plastic pollution in resource poor area. And BYO, when you go out canvassing different businesses and do all kinds of activities stemming from this activity, it really builds a community, and it also costs nothing. So it is a people's movement. This costs nothing, as opposed to like a deposit container system where a stainless steel container for deposit costs like $5, $6, $7. And if you have like for those deposit container system, they are wonderful, but like they will have a problem if you put your deposit to $1. Like you might not get the deposit containers back. So you have to think like BYO costs nothing, and it's people's movement, and it activates people toward like a climate activism, because waste activism, solid waste activism, plastics, and all of the thing is all about climate. It's deeply entwined, and it's also about public health issue. So BYO costs nothing, and it saves money for the businesses. I just told you like the pizzeria saved $1,000 a month. Would save $1,000 a month if they stop using disposables. So this cost for the single use keep going up and up and up. So it's an economic issue, and it's also BYO is a bipartisan issue of liberty, economics, and environmental stewardship. So like I want to mention that like one of the first people in our town in Ithaca, New York, who was really supportive as a county rep was a Republican guy. So you can talk to anybody because it's everybody's concern. Waste is everybody's business, and it's an issue of liberty. Like, why are we not allowed to bring our own containers? It is something to think about, and it's an issue of saving money, and it's the issue of environmental stewardship. Okay, so, and then you might be wondering, okay, so I covered all the coffee shops in my town. I covered all the bulk shops. We put the stickers everywhere. Like, what can I do now? We can still do the takeouts, restaurants takeouts. So here are some things you can do. Miriam mentioned in the chat canvas local restaurants to switch to reusables for dine-in. There are still a lot of restaurants using single use for dine-in. It's hard to understand given that it's very expensive and very polluting at the same time, as well as a health hazard because of the PFAS in the flavor chemicals in the those single-use containers. So canvass local restaurants and talk to them. And the nonprofit Rethink Disposable have lots of resources on their website for this activity. And also canvass local restaurants to skip the stuff, which is to stop offering utensils and condiments and straws and stirrers and napkins and whatnot, unless customer requests them. So that's a great thing. And also work with local government, local state government to implement zero waste policies, single-use ban, composting, incentive programs, and the skip the stuff, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Beyond Plastics and Gaia have sample policies. I think they also have it on a nonprofit, Just Zero also have sample policies on those. So this is something you can work on. And also can carrier program, can carrier reuse program, those plastic, pops that come. I do not know if anybody can see this, like if anybody can see my, I can show you later, but like can carry reuse program is another thing. And our group Zero Waste Ithaca just had a speaker, and he gave us a rundown on how to start a program. So our group member Jessica just uploaded it for us. So we're gonna turn it online. So if you're interested in it, you can please watch that video in Zero Waste Ithaca YouTube channel. I'm gonna drop it in the chat a little bit later on. And you can also support us, running this like U.S. Reduces team. Because I think we're gonna need it. And also, and I'm gonna wrap this up, dry cleaners. We would like, dry cleaners to switch to reusables instead of giving us all these like transparent plastic bags. That's something you can work on. That's another bring your own situation. So, so for all these activities, I recommend that like when you create the stickers, it might be a good idea to have a few different versions. And I'm so glad we asked our member to create a few different ones in the beginning, so we didn't have to scramble to get, edited and things like that. We have one for circular economy for, like different activities, like we give it to like a local thrifty stores, reuse center, and kayak outfitters who let us use their kayaks for trash pickup during the summer on water. And if any local restaurant switch to reusables for dining, you can give you the circular economy sticker, and then like bring your own containers sticker, and then like we have the utensil by request only sticker too. That's a skip the stuff. So it's nice to have them prepared in the beginning. So it's just a tip, and thank you very much. And I'm also going to drop a link to the form in the chat, and I'm going to post it on the website too. And we will post it in an email list about the form. Like once you the form asks you to do certain things to get started, and then like once you have those things ready, like your social media account and email address and things like that, like we can put you on the map. So please fill out the form, and thank you very much. Sorry, I ran a little bit long, but thank you. Next is Stephanie from Washington, D.C. So I talked about like, some of the things that you can do when we have problems with the food code. And Stephanie in Washington, D.C. is doing amazing things in Washington, D.C. despite the difficult situations with the codes. So take it away, Stephanie. Thank you for.
Okay, thank you, Yayoi, and thank you for your leadership in bringing everyone together on U.S. Reduces. I just want to open up the PowerPoint. And oh. Can you see the PowerPoint?
We don't actually, but you can just, if you can't get it to, oh, I think that's it. Yep, that's good.
Okay, but it's not letting me do the first one.
It seemed
Sorry.
like maybe your first slide wasn't selected. And so when you
Yeah, it is selected though. Okay, can you see that now?
You're not sharing right now, but try it again, Steph.
Share. Okay, sorry, this is the first time this has happened to me. Let me go back to here, share screen. Okay, can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Great, but it keeps, it keeps not, okay, now can you see it?
We don't, but go ahead and share screen again and just go ahead with a slide sorter view. That'll work out.
Okay, I'm not going to try to go to presentation view because every time I do, it shrinks. So anyway, you can see the first slide, I think, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So this is our DC Reduces, and the sticker will look familiar in the center to you because Tina helped me create the sticker. And I'll just say that, so I was writing my book on zero waste living a couple of years ago. I interviewed Anne-Marie Bonneau for my book, and she suggested I speak with Tina, which is how I got to meet Tina and learn all about Roncesvalles Reduces, and thought, wow, this is a great idea, and we need to do this in DC. That was a couple years ago. And then I got busy, didn't do anything. And then Anne-Marie wrote her blog on how to do this. So I thought, okay, I really need to get going on it. I grabbed a couple friends because it is hard to start off on your own, and at least one of them is on the call right now. I ordered the sticker, and someone asked the question about research. I didn't do a lot of research and realized that I needed to back up and make sure that it was okay to distribute this sticker to restaurants. Well, I spoke with someone in the DC government and they said, absolutely not. So unlike in Canada and unlike in California and unlike in Ithaca, we do not have regulations that allow restaurants to take customers' takeout containers and fill them with their food. Interestingly, and I think this is true in a lot of the country, beverages, no problem. So I was a bit paralyzed for a while. I wasn't sure what we were going to do. Restaurants is the sexy thing because we all know during the pandemic, we were all bringing home so many of the takeout containers. But then I took a hard look and realized, and with my couple colleagues, that there were probably other things we could be doing. And sure enough, there's a lot we can do. And so anyway, first of all, this first slide is showing the 8 volunteers we ended up getting over the summer when some folks were home from college. These are pictures of us canvassing. And as I said, I started the program last year, but we didn't really start canvassing until the summer. And here are the results so far. Okay. So we have 52 businesses that are participating in DC Reduces, and they break down into basically 4 segments. The first one is coffee shops, and that's the single biggest, and we have 14 of them participating. The second is dry cleaners, 12 of them, and I'll talk more about that in a second. The third is small grocery stores with some bulk aisles or a lot of naked produce, as we say, 10 of those. And then we've got this hodgepodge of other retail, things like thrift shops, and we have a drugstore that actually sells herbs in bulk. So it's a miscellaneous group. And then I want to be additive here because other people have talked about their program. So the dry cleaning one is, I think, what distinguishes us a little bit. So I want to just, that's the last thing I want to talk about is, okay. So this was supposed to be animated, and the woman in the middle is a woman named Yoon, and she is in my neighborhood, and she is the co-owner of President Valet. And basically, I started my whole zero waste journey because of this dry cleaning story. I'll just briefly tell you, I was very disturbed by all the plastic that I was bringing home with my clean clothes. It turns out it's about 300 million pounds in the US alone of this plastic that gets used to package the clean clothes that ends up in landfills. So someone posted, I think, someone posted that Green Garmento sells a garment bag. I bought one of those, but even better, I was able to convince the co-owner, Yoon, of President Valet to adopt a reusable bag program. And today, when you walk in, instead of seeing a sea of plastic, you actually see still the plastic, but 40% of their customers now use the reusable bags that they sell to their customers. And so fast forward, that was a couple years ago. When we started the DC Reduces program last summer, we thought, well, we've got this precedent, let's go to other dry cleaners. And lo and behold, because we could say that there was a dry cleaner that was already doing this kind of thing, the others came on board fairly quickly. So we now have, again, sorry, this was supposed to be animated and you see them pop up one at a time, but today we have 12 dry cleaners in total participating in the program. They're not all offering reusable bags, a couple of them do, but they are very aware of President Valet's program, and they all tell us they'll think about it. But today, those 12 with the sticker in the window at least allow customers to bring their own bags. Just a couple more things I'll say about the dry cleaners. It may not be relevant for every jurisdiction, every city, but in DC, if you ever come to Washington, DC, you know, in commercial districts, we have one and sometimes two dry cleaners on one block. It's a big deal in DC. Everybody wears their suits, maybe not so much during the pandemic, but everybody goes to the dry cleaners, and they are all over the place. So we think we're starting a movement here. The second thing I'll say, and something Kath, our fellow volunteer, reminded me about, which is really important, is that I think whether it's dry cleaning or any other business, it is a bit important. You don't have to do a lot of research, but you kind of have to know what these businesses are about. In the case of the dry cleaners, there's a legitimate hurdle to them putting the sticker in the window. If they are dry cleaners that actually processes, that does the cleaning on their premises, no problem. It shouldn't be a problem. If they are a dry cleaner that sends their dry cleaners away to be done somewhere else, but they own that facility that does that, also no problem. They can figure that out along the way in their own systems. If they do what many of the dry cleaners do, which is they send the clothes, they're just a retail outlet, and they send the clothes to someone else to process, to clean, it's a problem, right? Because it's not so easy for them to make sure they send through some kind of communication that this customer wants their clothes in their own bag. And we've had cases where they said yes, but they didn't really know what they were getting into. So the customer opens up the reusable bag and they end up with the plastic bag inside the reusable bag, which of course defeats the whole purpose. So the message there is just know a little bit about the kind of businesses you're dealing with. Coffee shops have some obstacles sometimes as well. I'll stop there, but our experience is 52 and counting, and we've got big goals, 100 by Earth Day. we've said. So we'll see. We got a lot to do, but we love it. And I think everyone in the team would agree. It's just been a lot of fun. We've gotten to know the communities. We've gotten to know the people. And there isn't anything about this that I think anybody hates, other than the occasional no, but we don't get that many no's. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Stephanie. That was great. The slides worked when we practiced. I don't know. It just, Zoom is possessed today.
Yes.
So, but that's awesome. People here wear hoodies in Silicon Valley, but there are some dry cleaners. So I've got to hit those up. And I think that's it for the presentations. So does anybody have questions? I saw some in the chat.
We have
but...
some in the chat.
Oh, what? Okay, Mary has her hand up.
I don't have a question so much as an offer to try and help the cause. And that is that I offer a course for people to reduce their use of plastic, single-use plastic around food and drink. It's called Practical Living for the Environmentally Curious. And so if any of these different groups are interested in having some like tickets, if you will, for free that they can give to some of their participants, I would love to give some of those away. And then I also work with the businesses, restaurants and bars that are wanting to make more money and reduce their use of, be more environmentally friendly. And so for any of these folks that want to have, I would love to give some discounts to the different businesses that they might be working with too, if that interests people.
Yeah, sure. Where are you located?
I'm in Florida, but my both offers are virtual. So
okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many great ideas.
Yes.
Go ahead, Yayoi.
I think there was like a question in like one of the registration forms about like if we have templates for flyers that people can use. I think it was from Holly. I think we're gonna prepare that like at one point. We are, still working on many things, but like if anybody wants to volunteer to create a template or something, that would be great too.
Well, I just stole some from Roncesvalles Reduces, from Canada Reduces.
Too, actually.
Yeah,
We did
and then I
too,
just
yeah.
changed it around.
Yes.
And
yes.
and that's on Silicon Valley Reduces, and we could just do something like
so
that.
You can do it like that too. So it's our Ithaca, Silicon Valley Reduces have one, Ithaca has one. You can check the Tina's.
Yeah, I asked Tina first, or I saw it on your website or somewhere. I'm not plagiarizing.
We changed it, adapted for the local.
Yeah.
I changed. I added changed it quite a bit. So I think it's became pretty original, and it's kind of fun process too. So that's one way to do it, and we can probably also provide a template. But like I think it's kind of fun to do it too.
Yeah,
yourself.
And there are tons of resources on Canada Reduces. CanadaReduces.ca, right? Is it .ca? Yeah. Tons of resources on there.
Yes.
Really helpful.
Yes.
Oh, I see eight new messages. Let's see. Oh, somebody's offering to help with design. Bianca, thank you.
Thank you.
And Alex too.
Hi, Alex. Okay.
Hi, Patty. I saw you when you came on. Any other questions? Anybody else have their hand up?
Oh, I had a question. I'm Kyrie from Louisville, Kentucky.
Hi, Kyrie.
Sorry, I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
So I'm totally interested in starting this program. So do you guys have templates for start? I know you gave us like put a meeting together and just go out there and start, but is there like something where I can do a step-by-step kind of template or something? I'm really nervous about it, but I think I can do it. I'm just nervous.
Well, can I just make a pitch for Anne Marie's blog? Anne Marie wrote a blog about this, which is it on the U.S. Reduces site?
Not yet. I think I
Oh,
should.
yeah,
We should probably add it.
Yes.
It goes through the steps involved. And again, the Roncesvalles Reduces website is fantastic in terms of laying out the steps as well. I used both sources when we got started in DC.
Yeah, and I think the Canada Reduces site, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Tina, but I think, so you get your sticker. But for me, that was the most stressful part, was trying to get the sticker printed. And anyway, so once I had that, I was okay. So get the sticker and then approach businesses. And it helps if you go with someone else, because I mean, you can go alone, but I just find it's helpful if you go with someone else, and then, you can both talk to the person. You seem like a real, like legit organization when there are two of you. And then once you have some signed up, then start marketing.
Okay.
But yeah, I found the sticker was like that. Once I had that though, I was all set.
Okay.
And then I got it printed locally. I just looked online and I found a printer, and it was I know some places charge a lot. I think mine are about, there might be $1.50 each, maybe.
That's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, I know they can be really expensive. And you could also do paper, like in the meantime.
Do you fund it yourself, or do you look for funders in the community, or how does that work? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's a great question. No, I was going like that because I was like, oh, I wish someone was funding it.
Yeah.
No, my only expense has been the stickers. So I also have I have a group, and we sew produce bags and we hand them out to the farmers market, and people stuff our jar full of money. I haven't spent any of that money on the stickers, but I was thinking of asking my group, would it be okay if, the next time we need stickers, if I use that money? I bought a secondhand serger with some of the money, an expensive Husqvarna, really. So anyway, so that's the sewing could fund it. I haven't spent very much money though, but some people can get, actually, so I could have gotten a grant from our city, and Patty, I think Patty, you worked on that. You were, and I never followed up. And then the woman who was in charge at the city of the funding, she retired. Anyway, she might be able to get some funding.
Yeah.
Locally with your city.
Okay.
Yeah. Anne-Marie is in California, so the city can support this effort. So like for Kyrie in Kentucky, because of the food cost situation, getting the support from the municipal government might be a little bit tough. Even in Ithaca, we can't get that support, official support. So we haven't. So like, I think one of the things you can do is like do the fundraiser, like a bake sale, give out the sewing bags. Anne-Marie sold the sewing bags, for produce bags instead of swapping from plastic produce bags to cloth produce bags.
Okay.
For reuse. So she and her volunteer group created those like closed produce bags and brought it to the farmer's market and just put the tip jar on the table and waited, and people came to get this like free produce bags, she made, but like they also left the tips, and after a few hours, I think she had a little bit of funds.
Okay.
Like, she made like $70 or something in a couple of hours or something like that.
Yeah, people, they stuff the jar with money. It's amazing. We usually, when we go, so When we started out, we didn't have that many bags, but now we're like a well-oiled machine. And we usually take 400 or 500 with us. And we do this every few months. And people love these bags. And we get to talk to them about reducing plastic. We talk to them about plastic pollution, and it's so much fun. Our sewing bees are so fun. We had one on Sunday, helps build community, and then they put all this money in.
Yeah, so like, you know, from doing BYO, you build, there's so many activities you can do in the community. It's just like, yeah.
And then other people at the farmers market, another group. So I'm in Sunnyvale, the south of San Francisco, and then another town next to us, Los Altos. A group there, they asked me if they could steal the idea, and I said yes, please. And so they started to sew bags and give them away at the farmers market. And it's all, this is donated fabric that might go to landfill. This was a duvet cover. It's usually not this cute.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
And Marie, is there any particular fabric you use? Somebody asked in chat, or do you just whatever you can get your hands on rather than have it go in the dump?
Well, natural fibers, so cotton, because when you wash them, they shed microplastics. I mean, polyester sheds microplastics, so ideally cotton.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice someone has donated linen. We have not bought any fabric. I've spent $7 of my own money, and we started this in 2018. I bought thread once. But sorry, go ahead.
No. I just was noticing someone in the chat, Kathy Lynch, said she'd be happy to contribute to a Kickstarter program. And I have thought about that would possibly be a way to do fundraising for.
Yes, absolutely.
The only cost associated with the program is the sticker, and so not counting your own time, and someone hopefully on the team who can do some social media stuff. We have some great people on our team for that, and maybe even a website. But other than that, really it's just the basics. All you need is the sticker.
Yeah, it's a lot of with its time. And we have to say this is all labor of love because we are all volunteers, and we do it because it's fulfilling. You know, it's something we'd rather do.
And helps you keep your sanity, helps you retain your sanity. Yeah, one of the women who came over on Sunday to sew, she works for the city, for the environmental services department, and she said she wanted to learn to sew, and she said, I think it will help my eco anxiety because I'll be doing something. Plus it's, you know, it's meditative.
Yeah, Kyrie, I sent you a direct message in the chat. I don't know if you saw it, but I included my email if you want to reach out. I went to my family's from Kentucky, and I went to high school in Paducah. So feel free to reach out to me. And I like all the costs associated with stuff like this can definitely add up. So I I agree with Kathy. I'd be happy to contribute to a GoFundMe.
Yeah. And
I'm from Paducah. I'm from Paducah.
You're from great. Wow.
Oh my God.
Paducah Tillman.
I went to Paducah Tillman too, and so did my mom. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. I'm direct messaging you.
Okay.
All right. And also another way to fundraise is if you have a local nonprofit that's like environmental nonprofit, our group got like a $700, $600 or something, $700 to get kickstarted, like neighborhood mini grant. And our group is not a nonprofit and did not have fiscal sponsor at that point, but they let us there is such a small mini grant, neighborhood mini grant. If you look for that kind of grant that you can apply, that will probably fund your activities, and they're going to probably love it. So this is a really great program. So like you should like look for neighborhood mini grant if anything like that is offered in your area. And that got us started. And that's a great way to start because it really legitimizes what you're doing in your local area. So like, you know, if it was like we were a scrappy volunteer group, and then like we received this mini grant from this local nonprofit, and then we are suddenly like, you know, legitimate. And so that in that way, that also kind of helps. And I think like, you know, if you write a grant proposal, like small, like, you know, for the mini grant, the grant committee is likely going to love it because it's a great program. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, hi, Maria. Yes.
So how do you counter people who express concerns about the food codes? Seems like that's the big hang up.
Well, Tina's Canada Reduces website have a section for the food code. And we also, our website has a section about, not food code, I'm sorry, food safety. And we also created a page about food safety. And it's on our Zero Waste Ithaca website too. But generally, even during the COVID, international experts agreed and wrote a letter, you know, 125 experts of, you know, epidemiologists and, you know, various experts saying like reusables are safe against COVID. And it's generally safe. And as far as I understand, there hasn't been a single documented case of contamination or infection from the bring your own container practice. And if you think about it, you know, just a few years ago, you know, several years ago, fermentations, you know, it was considered dangerous and people were afraid to try it until somebody like Anne-Marie and you know, other fermentation people made it like really a thing. This orchestrated germophobia is, and like people, the companies tell you to buy those toxic chemicals to spray around your household when you can just clean with water and vinegar. I think it's to some extent it's in the same line. And I've been looking up the food code situations, and I noticed the food safety conferences, some of the food safety conferences and food safety magazines are sponsored by like polluters like 3Ms that has like a big lawsuits about their PFAS contaminations, and Walmart and etc. So like, you know, is it really that dangerous? Nobody will bring dirty containers to have their foods in. You know, they're going to eat the food, so they bring in their, you know, clean containers. So if when you notice that other countries are actively promoting BYO to cut the plastic pollution, I think, you know, you have to think about it. And also you talk about safety. What is the safety? What's the safety of eating foods in single-use plastics that's contaminated, you know, that will contaminate your food with PFAS that is known to cause you like, you know, all kinds of problems. That those single-use plastics and single-use disposables in general, like bioplastics and compostables, those are a lot of them, most of them are contaminated with PFAS. So like, what's the safety there? Like, you know,
Yeah, it's just, it's theater.
Yes. And then the entire that plastic is in our like a venous tissues, in our lungs, intestines, and we wonder why we haven't, you know, everybody's still getting sick with cancer after, you know, so much money, millions and billions of money were invested in, you know, put into the war against cancer. You know, why are we so sick? It's in our dust, it's in our water, it's in our soil, it's in our food, and it's in our body. So what kind of safety is it? Like, you know, can we bring our own clean containers and can we have it filled? You know, or do we eat from this like single-use single-use that we know are toxic and causing all kinds of problems, health and environmental and climate catastrophe. So I think it's the different perspectives how to look at it.
And if you start with the businesses that accept it, it's so much easier. So that's what we've done. So I knew that this little cafe downtown in Sunnyvale allowed reusable thermoses, and they even give you a discount. My problem with them, and I mentioned this in the chat with somebody, I kept going at the wrong time. So don't get discouraged if you get the wrong person, because I found, my two biggest challenges are, one, I arrive at the wrong time and the owners aren't there. So the third time I went to this cafe, the owners were so happy and they said, oh, we give a discount and we hate all the reuse or all the disposable stuff. And, before I even finished my spiel, they were like reaching out for the sticker. So that's one challenge. And then the other challenge is just COVID, so I hear people, I went to a bakery, which would be perfect. A bakery would be perfect. You can bring a container and fill it up with cookies. And the owner said, oh, I spend so much money on packaging and I love this idea, but COVID spreads on surfaces or something. And I was like, what? Usually I don't argue with people, but I said, oh, actually it doesn't, but anyway, she said no. So
I just wanted to.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought you were done.
And I was just gonna say, if you start with the ones and then once you have a few, if you go to one that does give you that pushback, you can say, oh, well, but look at the list of cool kids who have joined, don't you want to be part of that? So, Donna has.
I was just going to add, and you pretty much just said it. I wouldn't argue with the stores. So if your audience is a city government official, I think bring the data with you if you're trying to make an argument about changing the regulation, because there's good data out there about safety. If you're talking to your friends, why are you doing this reduces program? You can give them the data too. But if you're talking to a business and they push back, at least I don't argue with them.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's just a lot of them have their policies. So for example, even though the DC Health Code does not allow customers to bring food containers and does allow them to bring beverage containers, I would say 50% of the coffee shops that we've gone into have said no. And usually, as Anne-Marie's saying, you're not always talking to the right person anyway, but let's say you're talking to a manager, they'll say our policy, we went into one, COVID was, things were a little bit better. And they said, no monkeypox now. We're not allowed until monkeypox subsides.
Yeah.
So if they're pushing back, I would just move on and find one that is willing. Although I completely agree with Anne-Marie that if you can show them, here's some other, in a nice way, here are the other coffee shops that have signed up and are doing it. That helps.
Yeah. Be nice. I mean, it was just that one time I said, because it's just not true. I mean,
right.
I'm like, anyway, but yeah, there are lots of others who will say yes. Donna has her hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about the canvassing. We found it really wasn't possible to go always when the owner was there. We pretty well always had to go at least 2 or 3 times. And we tried to go when the business was not too busy. So we were going generally during the week, which made it harder for people who have full-time jobs. But that was the best time to go. And our market, they told us, don't come on a Saturday. Well, that's pretty well the only time that for sure the manager is going to be there. But then we would talk to people in the business and we would show them the flyer and leave the flyer with them and ask them when the manager was going to be there and then go back. But we often found that when we spoke to the people that work there, we got support from them. And then they would then speak to the manager and be able to convince the manager that this was a really good idea. And I have a question for Stephanie. Can you tell us more about the reusable garment bags, the dry cleaner bags? I've never heard of that. And like, how does it work? Do people do a deposit?
Yeah, so in this particular dry cleaners, the day I walked in a few years ago, the owner immediately knew what I was talking about. I didn't know, but if they open up their big catalog, there are reusable garment bags that they can order from their suppliers. And in this case, they put their logo on it. Their decision, they could have gone a different way. You're implying, Donna, they could have done some kind of deposit scheme, but they didn't. They just sell the bags, I think, for $6. Some customers buy 2 bags and that's it. And then they just bring it in with their dirty clothes, hand it over, and that's what's used to package it.
Yeah, Anne-Marie wrote a blog post about Stephanie and about.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can look it up.
could put that on the website too.
Yeah.
And if
I think that's
anyone
the
has
reason
any
that-
questions about dry cleaners, I'm not a dry cleaning expert, but I know a bit about the DC Reduces efforts on dry cleaning, as do all of our team members. And so if you have questions, please send them our way to our website, and we're happy to try to answer them.
Any other questions, comments? Oh, I see a new message. Oh, thanks. The dry cleaner. Oh, that's mine. Yeah. Well, I guess we're done then.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I think I was going to put the, I thought I put it in, sorry. Here it is. I'm just putting this link in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry, this is not, this is a form, that's right. This is a form, like it tells you, some list of things you probably need or want to get your group started. And once we get the forms back, we can put you on our map. And so please fill out the form. And we also send it out as an email to all the people who registered for this meeting. So it will be in the email too. And somebody asked if we are recording, and yes, we are recording this, and we will post it on our YouTube account too. Okay. All right. Anybody else wants to say anything, or are we good?
Thank you, Yayoi, for this. Thank you. Me and Rhoda are gonna get Kentucky started.
Oh,
awesome.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Yay,
We love
thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Woo!
We are excited.
Thank you. And please get together with Pam. I think she will be a great ally. I have a feeling. I saw her Facebook page and things like that. And everybody, please take the training for the Beyond Plastic. I think it's a great idea to get everybody on the same page, even though a lot of people here are from Beyond Plastics, I think. But I think it's a great place to, it gives you lots of tools for your activities. So please check it out. It's on the we have this page called Get Started on our website, and it has everything you need to get jump started with your group. So we would love to hear from you. Please keep in touch, reach out with any questions, concerns, troubleshooting, and we will help each other. And together we are stronger. So please reach out. We're gonna help each other. We're gonna create discussion forums and online like an email list and things like that, so we can keep in touch. So thank you so much. I really appreciate every one of you for being here, and we hope to see you again soon. And I'm not really great at public speaking, but like I just want you to know, again, I'm going to say it once again, I really appreciate you being here. And I would I'm so excited that we are on this like a BYO train, and let's go. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you
night.
so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right.
And Marie, I'll just say, if you wanted to connect, oh, she left.
Oh, okay. We gonna meet. Oh, Sarah, you made it. I didn't know you were here. I'm so glad. I didn't know. Like, are you okay?
Yes, I'm more than willing to hang back a little bit after you stop the recording to kind of touch base.
Okay, I'm glad you're okay. I thought something might have happened with your